an angry quarterback on the bench right now in Dave Craig. Who do you think they'll start?
I think Craig's got to be the guy next week. I mean, Dave Craig, we've talked about him being hot and cold.
Offside.
Listen for the ocean there.
Defense.
But
5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
He has been yanked before. He was furious about being pulled tonight. But I think long term, if the Cardinals are going to have any shot this year making the playoffs, any shot, or being respectable, Dave Craig's going to have to be their leader. This guy's a good player. He's a good player.
First and goal from the 5. First and goal. First down and 5. Beg your pardon. That one almost picked off by Derek Frazier, number 23. Well, you think back to the last time the Cardinals were in the playoff in a non-strike year. The starter was Jim Hart. He and Neil Lomax were the starters from 73 to 88. Synonymous with the Cardinals, and look what's happened since.
Well, you see how many quarterbacks they've used. In one stretch of 5 weeks last year, Buddy Ryan started 4 different quarterbacks. And, you know, you cannot win consistently unless you have a stable quarterback situation, period. Can't do it.
3:32 remaining in this one. Buck. Frank Sanders. First and goal at the 5-yard line.
Now that was a throw. That was the old frozen rope. Anytime you give a quarterback, first team or second team, third team, whatever it is, some time to throw the football, I mean, you're going to have completions like that, but that was right on the numbers. And Frank Sanders, I think, is going to develop into a pretty effective receiver for the Cardinals this year. 5 catches tonight for Sanders for 96 yards.
First and goal from the 5. I knew it was going to be first and goal from the 5.
Yeah, just a little early.
A little early. Buck. Touchdown, Rob Moore. That's his first in a Cardinal uniform. And it's his 6th catch tonight.
The valuable playing time for Mike Buck. He's taking advantage of the opportunity. He looked awkward early on, but he's looked much more comfortable and much more confident. And a lot of fans are really into this thing now. Moore, number 85 on the outside, simple slant. Derek Frazier, the guilty party. You know, he didn't have any inside help. It's amazing that he was playing that far outside technique. This is too easy. Way too easy. Outside technique when a guy's running a slant and no free safety to help. That means touchdown.
They're going to go for 2. Mike Buck comes to the bench, and Stoney Case, the rookie from New Mexico, the 3rd-round pick this year, is on the field. Now, that is a quarterback's name.
That is.
Not that Pat Hayden is not. No. You understand.
But Stoney Case is a great name.
Time has been called. We'll give you an in-depth look at the second weekend of NFL action following the game for the Steel Pro Football Tonight postgame report. Vince Cellini, Mark May, and Warren Moon have stories covered. Ernie Johnson is with us. He'll have tonight's stars from here in Tempe.
Warren was a little happier today than when we saw him last week on the postgame show.
I wonder if he's... We could give a new idea to 3 in the booth.
Yeah.
You know, 2 of us up here and Warren on the field next week.
That's right. We've got Warren next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting week.
Wonder if he'll tip us the plays.
He'll tip me. I'm not sure. You know,
I wouldn't understand.
You're not part of the fraternity.
No,
yeah.
that's right.
Sorry.
The number of snaps I've taken.
Well, Stoney Case. You know, he got it in his preseason, his very first preseason game. He threw the winning touchdown pass.
Out of New Mexico, Garrison Hurst is the setback. They go for 2. Option play. Perfect. Love it. Flag down. Don't like it anymore.
You are one of those fickle fans, aren't you?
That was me wearing that Cardinal helmet.
Yeah.
I'll say this, in the National Football League, holding against the Cardinals, if you're going to run the option play, you're going to put a rookie in.
And you bring in a guy named Stoney Case. Well, they're going to run it again, or go for it again at least.
Yeah,
on the offense, number 37, 10-yard penalty.
He called it on Larry Sanders. I tell you, he made up his mind, and it was a nice little play. There he is. You know, this is a very deep team at quarterbacks. You got one guy that runs the 2-yard, 2-point plays. Then you bring in Mike Buck to run the real long 2-point plays. And then you got a guy that's very upset he's not getting a chance to run the 2-point play. Well, I'll tell you, playing quarterback for Buddy Ryan is an interesting phenomenon. And if you aren't prepared for the unusual, you should be.
It's not like Dave Craig didn't have an idea what he was getting.
No, exactly right. Buddy Ryan has a track record.
From the 12, Mike Buck.
Whoops. That was pretty ugly. Yeah. You know, we have seen 3 fumbled snaps, the most fundamental play in football, 3 fumbled snaps tonight by the Cardinals. This, actually, this would have been a bad preseason game for them.
And for us.
When we think about it.
Yeah, this has not been memorable.
Well, you know, maybe this is the flip side of free agency. You know, everybody, all these players moving around from one team to another, and in particularly on offense, Vern, it takes a while to get in sync with one another, and the Cardinals have not been in sync, certainly offensively, for 2 weeks.
And you'll notice that Arizona does not have a good record in September, nor does Buddy Ryan. And check the schedule for these guys. They go on the road for the next 2 weeks. They are at Detroit. Then they are at Dallas. They come back home against Kansas City. Then they go back east to take on the New York Giants. And then finally back home against Washington. So they could really dig themselves a very deep hole.
Yeah. They were 1-4, I think, their start a year ago. Finished strongly, finished 8-8, lost on the last week when they had a chance to potentially be in a playoff team. But boy, it's tough sledding from here on out.
0-7.
It needs some real, another onside kick. It needs some real leadership on this team. Again, I think sometimes that's tough when players are moving around so much to have a leader, a guy who's been in a place for a long time and can lead.
Onside kick grabbed by David Whitmore, number 42. And so the Philadelphia Eagles will take over with 2:40 remaining in this one.
I was on one of those hands teams once in high school. The only time I was ever on it for special teams play. I was just hoping they wouldn't kick me the ball. I mean, most guys want the ball on those onside kicks. I did not want them to kick the ball to me.
How did you happen to find yourself in that group?
Well, they called for the hands team, and I had some good hands.
Perfect.
Yeah. See?
31-19. Bobby Taylor, one of the cornerbacks, number 21. And now the Eagles will try and chew up the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 31-19. Ricky Waters looking for his first 100-yard game in an Eagle uniform, and he's going to be about 3 yards shy. That's his 20th carry of the night.
It's going to be a bittersweet plane ride home, I think, for the Eagles and for Ray Rhodes. On the one hand, you know, he's very happy about winning this game, winning his first game as a head coach. On the other, he realizes that there is a storm ahead in the quarterback situation, in particular for next week. And it's going to, again, for the second week in a row, I think, be a very difficult week for the Eagles.
At least for the moment, Randall Cunningham is smiling.
Nice to see. They should be smiling. His team's winning.
2-minute warning in the desert. 31-19, Randall Cunningham on the bench. We did a preseason game back in August, and at that time, Randall talked with Ernie Johnson about his feelings about the Eagles.
I want to play in Philadelphia. I enjoy playing here. I enjoy John Gruden. I respect Ray Rhodes, and I enjoy playing for him. And I think the players, the way we are now, we're a different team. So in the next, 2-3 years, this team is going to be at the top, and I don't doubt that at all. And I just want to be a part of it.
Rodney Peete hands it off to Ricky Waters, and he loses a yard back to the 38-yard line. Well, I think this will be a real test for Ray Rhodes, for Randall Cunningham, how he handles what happened to him here tonight. As you said, Pat, and I've said a couple of times, he is among the more fragile quarterbacks psychologically in the league.
Well, all players want to be loved and congratulated and such, and he is no different than all the other players. But, you know, you got to accept it. I think one of the redeeming things about sport, about the NFL, is you have to prove yourself every week. And you have to play well. If you don't play. And it happens